next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Jim Rome here with your Rome Report. It was obviously not a question of if, but a matter of when. And the Cleveland Browns have finally benched Joe Flacco in favor of Dylan Gabriel, and it is the right call. Just as it's the right call not to start Shedeur Sanders, even if he thinks he's better than a number of guys playing around the league right now. Debatable, my dude. And I'll tell you who you're not better than. The guy you're sitting next to in the quarterback room, Dylan Gabriel. That's why the Browns selected him before they took you. That's why you haven't jumped over him on the depth chart. In fact, reports are they're not jumping you over Flacco either, who drops to number 2. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure you'll play at some point this year, just not yet. They already know what they have in Flacco, a washed vet and a statue who can no longer move around or take care of the ball. Now they need to see what they have in Gabriel. Throwing him in against a Brian Flores defense in London is a huge ask, but it's obviously the right call. I'm Jim Rome. And remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
1 in 8 women will face breast cancer. But the Breast Cancer Research Foundation is changing that. With breakthroughs in prevention and treatment, we're not just saving lives, we're rewriting the future, giving those diagnosed more time to not just survive, but thrive. This is the moment. This is the mission. Support breast cancer research until 1 in 8 is none in 8.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
I'm glad to be with you on this Thursday. We are having fun on a Thursday. And we got a packed show on a Thursday. We've got Tim Fitzgerald coming up to preview the Cats this weekend. We've got our betting insider, PJ Glasser, to join us and get us ready for an interesting Thursday night football game, to say the least. A lot of injuries to deal with. So how do we bet it? We'll have that for you. Those, your calls and comments, 869-1240. Max has the phone lines open. We've got the video comments always open. Thanks for watching us on 12 News Connected. Facebook, YouTube, X. Leave your comments however it is that you decide. We'll be having some fun today because it's all what's on tap. Brought to you by Wichita Brewing Company. Patio season. Smash a Yumkin Pumpkin on Delano's rooftop deck. Enjoy happy hour at WBC East's newly remodeled patio. Or grab a pizza outside shielded from the setting sun at WBC West. When you think patio, think Wichita Brewing Company. Pizza and beer made here. That is patio season for everybody but TJ, who would like to see it snowing, I think, here in early October. How are you this morning, TJ?
I'm great. It's patio season as long as it's like 6 p.m. and the sun is on his way back down. You can't do the patio at noon, though. It's going to be 85 degrees today.
Oh, you poor thing. You can't handle 85? Like, what's happened to you?
I mean, you can. You're just going to be sweaty. That's all I'm saying.
Not in the shade. Not in the shade. It's perfect. This is the perfect weather season. Let's not rush it out of here and get to the winter, which we will all hate soon enough. We all act like we want the cold weather until it's here for like a week, and then we're like, all right, that's enough of that.
We're gonna have to get Ross Jansen on Sports Daily as an insider because this has become a recurring topic for us. We need an insider.
Because I can't let it go. I can't let go that you are not enjoying this perfect weather as much as you should be. We'll be having fun today. It is a good day. We get the announcement that KU's playing a London game. It'll be, I guess, 2 years after K-State plays an Ireland game. We had Major League Baseball playoffs last night. We have the Guardians and the Padres evening series, the Yankees evening a series, and the Dodgers Being the Dodgers advance with a win over the Reds, and they look good. But that happened last night as well. No practice as we would normally get on a Wednesday for the Chiefs. They play Monday Night Football, so they'll sort of, get going again today. We get more private equity talk in college athletics, which is interesting, I think, and has been an interesting topic that we've talked about over the last 18 months or so. But there is a lot to get to, TJ. What'd you make of the London news? KU going to Wembley Stadium, first college football game ever played at Wembley, which is really cool. We'll feature KU.
Yeah, it is pretty cool that it's going to be Wembley Stadium. I mean, that place is ginormous on the inside. It's one of the biggest, venues in Europe, and it's pretty cool that the first ever college football game there is going to be the Kansas Jayhawks, the football Jayhawks, who have just grown every year since 2022, basically, and just gone onward and upward. So it's pretty cool news. It has its downsides whenever you decide to go play across seas. For the fan base and everything like that. There's a lot to dig into, and I'm sure it's something we're going to talk about throughout the show.
Yeah, look, it's good news. They still get 6 home games. The fans aren't losing much. Arizona State, it'll be a conference game, has to do the same thing. So there's no disadvantage. The only thing that you're kind of bummed about is you're not going to have Jalen Daniels, right? Like that he won't be there. So who knows what KU will be next year, but who knows what Arizona State will be next year either. I think it's fun. I think kudos to the Big 12 for continuing to be aggressive in the things that it's doing. It's not shying away from, sure, we'll play a conference game to open the season because it puts you on center stage, right? It puts you in the spotlight. It gets you out in front of everything. We see those kinds of things. We see these equity deals where private investors are trying to get involved in college athletics. Look, I predicted this and said it was going to happen a long time ago. College football, especially college basketball, it's a sure thing. If you're a private investor and these programs are really cash strapped and needing an infusion, I mean, that's where it is. So it doesn't surprise me, but I think it is the time in college athletics to be aggressive. And that's what KU's doing by making this call.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, the equity stuff's really interesting, especially now with and it's something that I want to talk to Kevin Stoll about because he's really open about the new, NIL model, how everything's gone, and really explained it pretty well. Now that, everybody that donates in a way is investing into the basketball team because you can actually have a return on investment now, not in the fact that you're going to get a stipend back every time that they do something, but the fact of, you can go to them like people have done and say, hey, I want to donate season tickets and they're like, your season tickets will go towards these guys into the players fund and everything like that to go with the house settlement and get these guys. And so the fact that, it's an investor that's going to expect, a return on investment as a cash flow type of thing is really interesting and really starting to push the boundaries of what college athletics is whenever you do that kind of thing. But I mean, what's the difference between me, you, and Joe Blow giving them our money and, big baller billion-dollar man?
I get it. Money? Look, I get the concern. We're going to talk about this in the next segment because it's a complicated deal, and I get it. But I just to me, when I saw the KU news yesterday and I see that it's an aggressive decision by KU, by Arizona State, by the Big 12 to go play Wembley. Nobody's played Wembley before. Who knows what London's going to do as far as receiving it. They always receive the NFL well. So you never know. And, people there. But anything you can do right now, in my opinion, to be aggressive and ahead of the curve is probably the right way to go 80% of the time. The problem is you just don't know what's next. You don't want to be behind the curve, right? If you're in all of this and you're a step behind, go ask, I don't know, Oregon State what that's like. You can, because the college athletics is so valuable, but not every program is so valuable. There are some that are far more valuable than others, and you better try to tether your sale to those programs any way that you can, and be aggressive and be ahead of this thing. We never know what's going to happen with conference realignment. We never know what's going to happen with any of this stuff. So there is no more room in college athletics to just sort of sit there and wait to see what happens. If you're not being aggressive, you will be left behind. We see it over and over and over and over again. So this is the next potential wrinkle. It's one that's made sense to me for a long time. It's one I've thought was coming for a long time. The Big Ten is in on it. I sort of thought the Big 12 with Brett Yormark might be a pioneer in this world, but we'll see. We'll dig into it, get you the news from yesterday on that private equity thing, the latest. There's no movement yet, but there are conversations certainly, and some resistance from some programs, which I also think is interesting. So we'll get into that. We'll get Tim Fitzgerald in here today to talk K-State. We can get his thoughts on the private equity deal. He'll have some. And we'll talk bets with PJ Glasser. I don't recall TJ ever seeing a line move 5 points over the course of 3 or 4 days. But we have seen tonight's Thursday Night Football line move 5 points from 3.5 to 8.5. Pretty crazy. So we'll get PJ Glasser's thoughts on that as well. It's a jam-packed Thursday. Always time for your calls and comments, though, on Sports Daily. Man, it's almost football weekend, everybody. Albrock and Cleveland coming right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Thanks to Crestview Country Club for being a great supporter of the program. Got a next week. I'm excited for this one, a Bourbon and Bites event. So one of the things about Crestview we tell people is it's more than just golf. They have great events. We're going to bring in a company who's going to bring in a bunch of different bourbons, let you test them, have some meat with your bourbon. It'll be a great. Couple buddies. We're going to go up there and check it out. Bourbon and Bites. They do this with wine tasting, which, is a little over my head, TJ, but all kinds of other things. So give Crestview a call, ask them about the different memberships that they might have, and see what you can get done with them today. Tell them we sent you here from Sports Daily. All right, welcome back in, everybody. So we're talking, it's kind of a newsworthy day of college football yesterday. We get some info that, conferences, the Big Ten specifically, are considering taking private equity. We get the news that Kansas is going to play the first ever college football game at Wembley Stadium in London. It will be September 19th next year. So they'll still, TJ, here's the issue with this for me. You get that kind of news and immediately the haters come out in full force.
They do.
And the haters they're out in full force. And I don't know what the overall pulse of the fan base is, but there are those who immediately, in my opinion, think about the wrong things when you see news like this.
Yeah. I think that the overlying, I'd say, is still just excitement, the fact that KU is going to be on a national stage. But I think that I don't know, the biggest feeling that, you take away from this for me as a guy that watches KU football is that, like, this is risky. This is way risky to do, because it's not like it's the Ireland game like KState. That obviously comes with a ton of risk, and you saw what happened starting 0-1 in Big 12 play. That was kind of their biggest thing, that giving up their home game for their rivalry game and everything like that. This isn't a rivalry game, but the biggest risk that I think it is the fact that it's in the middle of the season, and it's going to be 7 days after you just play Mizzou at home. So you're going to play Mizzou, take a couple days, and then fly internationally to London and then play your Big 12 opener. So it's not like there's a bye week before. I don't think that there's a bye week after either. I think they roll right into Big 12 play. I'm not sure if that's announced yet or not, but I mean, there might be. I might be wrong about that, actually. But that's the biggest risk right there, is the fact that you don't have. K-State had weeks and weeks and weeks to prepare for this Ireland game and how they were going to handle all this stuff. And KU is like, we're going to fly over after we play Mizzou. Hopefully we beat Mizzou. If you lose to Mizzou, then you're going to be pressing. Then you're going to go deal with all these external factors and have to be pressing in London, of all places, against a team that's been pretty good in the Big 12 since they've joined. So it's risky.
Did Travis Goff and Lance Leipold strike you as guys who are risk averse, who are afraid of a risk? Or do they strike you as aggressive individuals trying to make the program better? You don't climb out of, no offense, irrelevancy by not taking risks. And Arizona State's going to play 7 days after they play Texas A&M. What do you think is going to be tougher?
I know. It's risky for both of them.
And by the way, they're playing that game at Kyle Field. KU's playing at home against Missouri. This is the problem in college athletics. Everybody's afraid to take. We can't change conferences. We've been in that conference for 50 years. We can't do that. What about the history? What about we can't add playoff teams. We've never added playoff teams. Why would we go to 12 teams? We've never had 12 teams. We can't add a 4-team college football playoff. We can't pay the athletes. My God, what about the amateurism? Like, that is not the way to go in college athletics right now. If there is money to be had, which there will be in this situation for your university, when everybody's cash strapped and you're about to start paying athletes and have a salary cap, if you can go make a little extra money by taking a 12-hour flight instead of a 4-hour flight, you do it. If you have a chance to get on the national stage in front of everybody, you do it. Like, you can't go about college athletics with the mindset of, oh man, here's this tremendous opportunity we have to go do something not only our program has never done, no program in the country's ever done. We can be pioneers. We can do something truly special. But we did just play Mizzou 7 days ago. You know what? We're going to pass on that. No. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I think it's the right decision. I agree.
I'm not saying you do. I'm talking to the group, and it's probably a small, loud minority that likes to bitch and moan about everything, and they're just, we gotta play Mizzou. Like, how good is KU going to be next year? Do you think going to London is going to cost KU a spot in the CFP next year?
That's the other part.
Let's be real about this.
It has it has its risks, but it doesn't have that risk that K-State and Iowa State inherited. Maybe Arizona State. I don't know. I don't think Sam Levitt will be there next year. I don't believe. And he's probably.
Iowa State won the game. They had no risk. They won the game and they got the stage.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that those guys are guys that should be in the college football play. Like, K-State should have been in the college football play. They should have been in the Big 12. And I guess I don't want to say should have been.
Even if they should have been, they still made the right decision.
Yeah, it is the right decision. But that's just the risk that comes with it. Is you're adding a lot of external factors in a game that you basically need to win.
The risk is that your flight is a little longer. It's not that risky. Like, it's not that risky. What if KU was scheduled to open the Big 12 at UCF? You know what I mean? Like, it's a long flight. It's a long flight. They're 19, 20-year-old kids. Like, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. The other team's taking the same risk. They'll probably have a bye after the game, if I had to guess. They always have a bye that time of year anyway. They'll take a bye after the trip. They'll get a chance as young people to do something most of them probably will never have the opportunity to do again. Go internationally and see a place like London. I'm 40 years old. I've never been to Europe. Like, there are so many positives in that. To be scared, to be chicken because you don't have a bye week or because your rivalry game is before. Like, that is the college athletics of the past that is going to make programs die. If you can't be forward thinking, if you can't take every opportunity that's in front of you, especially if you're not like a built-in commodity already. And KU football, great new stadium, love the recent success. We're excited they're making bowl games. They're not Alabama, and they're not going to be Alabama, and that's fine. So don't waste opportunities to go do something awesome. And this is a great opportunity. It's what you have to do in today's college athletics.
I think that the other part of this as well that I've seen people bring up, Henry Greenstein, the Lawrence Journal World, one of our buddies, he was on a show yesterday talking about this. Is the other part of why KU likely wanted to do this next year is that they're not going to, the half of their stadium, the old half, is going to be under construction. They're not going to sell those seats. They're going to have to play through construction. So the amount of lost revenue that you're going to have from not being able to fill that stadium to the full 40,000 capacity. I mean, they may only sell, 30,000. I don't even know. 28.
They're still going
maybe?
to have six. They're still going to have 6 home games.
No, yeah. I'm saying the fact that like the stadium is going to be a construction zone next year, and I think that goes into the part of it as well of saying like if we're gonna go give up a home game, let's give up a home game when we only have half of a stadium, and especially whenever you're not going to sell that many tickets because you're going to need that ticket revenue, and so that gives you kind of makes that back of what you're going to lose throughout the entire year. If I had to guess of what Union Jack is paying.
Well, right. It's an interesting thought. I really would want to see what KU's making by playing this game. Because yes, it's probably a lot. I don't even know what Union Jack is. What's Union Jack?
Good question. Let's look.
Whatever it is, that doesn't really matter. It's going to be revenue. It's going to be exposure. It's going to be an opportunity. It's all a positive for KU and Arizona State to go make this decision. We could get down the road. These could be so wildly popular, TJ, and there may not be another opportunity for a team like KU to do it because they may be shooting higher and aiming bigger with the teams that come play there. And that's not an affront or an offense intended for KU. It is to point out that the tremendous opportunity was there right now. Do we ever give Bill Self grief for going and playing in tournaments across the globe? Or, there were talks and it didn't work out of going to play in Mexico City. Do we ever even bat an eye at those opportunities for KU basketball? No, because they're tremendous opportunities. Like to be afraid of this because of where it falls on the schedule is silly. So for those of you out there who are timid about this, you can't be timid anymore. Like there's no place for that if you're going to be a premier program. And that takes us into this.
Hold on. I have to jump in. Union Jack is the popular informal name of the flag of the United Kingdom. That's the Union Jack.
I know that, but what is the company? Like, is there not a company? So it's probably the government paying, I would imagine then. Yeah, Union Jack is the old nickname of the flag. That? I knew that. I figured it was some battery company.
You're a real Brit.
Yeah, I need to get over there. I do. I don't really have a desire to at the current moment in geopolitical relations of the entire planet, it seems like. But at some point I'd like to get overseas for sure. So that takes us into this grant of rights extension and a private equity deal. So the Big Ten is apparently now contemplating a $2 billion private equity deal. These are super complicated. It would extend the grant of rights, which I believe is their TV deal, that would extend it to 2046. So that is interesting. And it's where it makes sense, because if I was a private equity investor, think about if you were an investor to a college conference, what would you want a piece of? Like if you were investing, what piece of the pie would you desire to invest in? You don't want to invest in facilities. You don't want to invest in ticket sales, I don't think. You want to invest in the TV deals because those keep going up. And if you can get in on that, you're going to see a nice return on your money, which is what these private equity groups want. They go in, they invest. Sometimes they infuse a little money so that long term, they have an ownership stake and they can make even more money. So my guess is what they would do is they would pay this money to the conference, and then they would come in and help make and create the most valuable TV product or media product that they could possibly create, and then have a piece of the pie to reap those rewards. I think for most of us, this would be a welcome thing, because if you're extending grants of rights deals, if you're making those more ironclad, there is less of a chance of consolidation, which is great news for college athletics. Consolidation is a danger to me to college athletics, namely college football, because, and I've said this forever, if you took Kansas and Kansas State's ability to play in the true national championship away, people in Kansas are not going to watch as much college football. They're certainly not going to watch SEC football. They're not going to watch other conferences, right? You're hamstringing yourself, to me. Like there's it, and it's basically, is college football a true national phenomenon, or is it a regional phenomenon that we're all interested in because of the chance of championship? It's not the NFL. If Michigan and Indiana were playing football tonight up against Thursday night football with half the 49ers roster on the injured list, guess what 80% of Americans are watching that don't live in Big Ten country? They're watching the NFL. Like, we got to stop with thinking that way for college football. It's a regional sport that we all get behind because we're aiming at the same goal, right?
Yeah, it's relative is what brings everybody around to it. Is the fact
it's relevant because down the road, especially as we get further into the season, if you're a fan of a Big 12 team, then, let's say we'll just use Kansas State as an example. They got one loss here and Michigan's sitting there with a couple losses. You're rooting for them to lose because it enhances your chances to get in. Like, there are reasons that goes in.
Without the regional tie that college athletics have, if college football was just the SEC, like, it'd be great football, obviously, but what's the difference between that and the UFL at that point?
Right. It wouldn't be the same. You're right. Yeah. So when you see this, I think that's the first thing I would say is it's good news. I thought the Big 12 would be the first one to do this. I really did. And they still might be, to get behind a private equity investment to enhance their product that way. There is resistance, though, from apparently Michigan and Ohio State. They don't want to. Here's what a regent at Michigan said. As a regent, this is Jordan Acker. As a region, I believe selling off Michigan's precious public university assets would betray our responsibility to students and taxpayers. I will firmly oppose such any effort, and I hope Michigan State and Ohio State will stand with me on that. I think a couple of things. If you really want to not betray your responsibility to students and taxpayers, let's figure out a way to make college more affordable. I mean, honestly, like, if we're picking our battles, let's pick that battle. This is a separate thing than like if the university, because the reality is your university is going to take in more money probably with private equity. Nobody's saying you're going to sell off a part of the university to private equity. They're saying you're going to sell off your media rights deal. I think, now this is me guessing here, I think that you're basically, the rights you have with TV companies and your media rights, you are going to sell a portion of that. You're going to take a capital infusion. And the other thing, and the other part of this that will make most programs across the country get behind it, is because they need that money. They're not Michigan and Ohio State and putting 100,000 people in every game. Like, they need the money because there's a salary cap now.
That's the thing, is that I think the biggest part, even if it is like, I know in the past, like, this is what comes to mind is, Jay Williams made a comment one time about, like, I want to invest in Duke basketball because the return on that Duke makes every year between ticket sales and everything else is, like, they're always net positive. It's a good investment that you can make. So, however this does work, you're going to make money back as an investor, no matter what it is, basically, unless you're investing in the small FBS level or the FCS level.
Listen, I don't care if the investors lose money.
I don't care about that either. But
they're taking a risk and like, okay, fine. Like, they won't, because these big firms like that don't do that. That's how they're big firms that make lots of money.
This the thing is, though, that I think that this should be a positive for people. I think don't want to
slippery slope. You got to be real careful, and we don't have the details on it. Like, it's not an obvious answer.
At the end of the day, the programs, every year you're going to get $20.5 million to spend across your players, and that's what everybody needs the money for. If this is happening, it takes the pressure off the fans of having to donate the money, and because that's what the model has been is if you want your team to be good, we need your money. That takes that away from it. It becomes more of a professional sports aspect. But I mean, if you're already making $20 million, I would rather the $1 billion people just make an investment, and then we don't have to worry about it. Like David Booth giving $300 million without a return on investment. Like, what's the difference between that and the fact that he gets a kickback?
Yeah, right. Look, here's the quote from a source to ESPN. Think of it this way. The conference is not selling a piece of the conference. Traditional conference functions would remain 100% with the conference office, scheduling, officiating championships, The new entity being created would focus on business development, and it would include an outside investor with a small financial stake. This happens all the time in business.
So it sounds like it's going to be investing in the conference, not the teams.
Yeah, you're investing in the TV deal is what you're investing in. Like you're investing in opportunities through the media rights to make more money, which means the schools would make more money. You're not selling 100% to them, and you're taking the cash infusion. I think it makes sense. I do think it's complicated. You got to be careful. We'll talk to Tim Fitzgerald about it in the next hour. Stick around. We got more Sports Daily coming your way.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas fan headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSEW.
On KFH.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Can't count on much these days. You can count on the NFL on Paramount Plus. Sports Talk on KFH presented by Paramount Plus. The NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. You can watch your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Waiting on Chiefs news. We don't have an injury report. We'll get one today. Don't expect much on there. Just kind of, I guess, would want to see that Xavier Worthy is fine after a full week of action and that he's going to be ready to go. Boy, we sure do get the injury news, though, with the Rams and 49ers tonight. My goodness. So the line on this has moved, TJ, to 8.5 points tonight. No Brock Purdy. No Ricky Pearsall. No Juwan Jennings. No George Kittle. It'll be a lot of Jake Tongus, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Demarcus Robinson. Sky Moore is still on this team. It'll be the Chiefs wide receiving core with Mac Jones at quarterback.
I know. I was trying to find the tweet. I can't remember where I saw it yesterday, but somebody tweeted out the wide receiver roster and the fact that it's Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Demarcus Robinson. It's like, these guys stink. It's like Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl with them.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I do, though, 8.5 points in a divisional game. I mean, I want to pounce all over the Rams because I think a whole lot of the Rams who are kind of healthy at this point, but there is still Christian McCaffrey. There is still a decent defense here. I can't wait to get PJ Glasser. Boy, how bad do you wish you'd have jumped on 3.5 early in the week?
Yeah,
I've got to start looking at early lines and trying to take it. I never do it. I never get on like a Monday and start to do look ahead lines or anything like that. I kind of start my betting week like today on Thursday and then into the weekend. There are advantages to doing it that way. I'm very curious to hear what Glasser thinks on this one, because it is one of those where it just feels like the Rams are going to crush them. They don't have anybody. Yeah. And if you think they're going to crush them, then 8.5 is, that's a big NFL line, but man.
I know. It's interesting. We talked about this. Like, the 49ers have been so beat up forever, but it's the fact of, like, they have won games. Like, I mean, they're not as beat up as they are right now. This is the worst that they've been all year beat up wise, but they somehow are scrappy enough to get these things done. Mac Jones has played well as a backup quarterback. So I don't know. I mean, you could make the argument that the Rams probably should blow them out of the water, but somehow they keep hanging around. So I wouldn't be shocked if it's going to be an actual somewhat game. I don't know if it's going to be a close game or what it's going to be, but I don't think it's going to be the Chiefs Ravens that we just saw, I guess.
45.5 is the number. It's been an interesting number. There have been a couple of times the 49ers haven't come close to that in their divisional games. And then they went over in the game against the Saints, and then last week, oddly, against the Jaguars. That is something probably to look at on a Thursday night, which typically are a little more slow going. The Rams have blown that number out of the water most of the season, which would be the only problem there. But it is a fascinating one. What sucks about it, TJ, is when we look at the Thursday night football schedule at the beginning of the year, like, this is one we were really excited.
Like one of the best ones that we could have gotten. This is awesome. This division just makes good TV.
And I still want to I still want to be excited about it, right? I still want it to be exciting. But man, I'm just afraid it might not be. But the good news is, like, the fantasy players are exciting, and there's still. I think
we
there's.
can watch 2 flag football teams.
Oh yeah, I don't care. I don't care about that. I just like sometimes these bad matchups. Like if it was, I don't know, Saints and the current version of the Giants, you're like, like there's not even that much fantasy football to get excited about. How do you even get excited about player props in this one? There's plenty of, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams. Like there's still star players playing in this game.
I can't imagine the lines on Christian McCaffrey. You have to feel like he's getting funneled tonight.
Well, he hasn't been running the ball well at all this year. But it's going to be like it'll be a pass catching opportunity for him. He's
going to have an awesome fantasy week.
Maybe he's got Mac Jones. Mac Jones has been okay. Mac Jones has been all right. Let me just pull up some of these lines, and of course we're going to get into this in about a half hour from now with PJ Glasser. But it's one you got to be a little careful with, because you don't think the Rams know they have to stop Christian McCaffrey? Like, what else are they afraid of? Right? Do you not sell out to stop McCaffrey tonight?
That's the idea.
You have to. What else are you afraid of?
Jake Tonges?
Afraid DeMarcus Robinson's gonna go off on you here? I don't think that's gonna happen.
I just know. I just have a feeling that it's gonna be something weird in this game. Like, the NFL, it's going to, like, the 49ers are going to have like a halftime lead or something like that.
All right. So Christian McCaffrey's receiving yards right now are 53.5. That's too high for me. I would rather attack receptions, which are at 6.5. That's still too high for me too.
That's really high.
So I'm probably teasing all of this down. And that's typically what I do. How I bet these games usually is I will tease down the props and put 3 or 4 of them together to try to cut and add in like one hammer that I like, right? And then that'll usually get me 5, 6, 7 to 1 odds. And that's what I usually bet. I usually bet those same game parlays that way. And they're hard and they're difficult, but they're more fun when you're only betting $10 at a time. So there are some in there. McCaffrey receptions, that'll be an interesting one. Is Puka Nacua the best non-quarterback in football this year?
Probably.
Boy, I think he might.
It is crazy. Does he only have 1 touchdown? That is actually nuts.
Yeah, he never has caught a lot of touchdowns. In his career, he hasn't. That's not his thing, which is part of the reason why Devontae Adams and Kyron Williams always scores a lot of touchdowns, but it was part of the reason I thought the Devontae Adams addition made a lot of sense for them. Because they have Puka as like the funnel. Kyron Williams, by the way, 67.5 rushing yards. I kind of like that a lot. If they get a lead and just try to milk that thing down a little bit, it'll be a good game because it's a divisional game and these are 2 good coaches and they're 2 good teams, as banged up even as the 49ers are. Mac Jones has shown us plenty this year, but we'll get PJ's take on it a little bit as we go. Other injury news, as Purdy is out, Jaden Daniels is in. I predicted one of my like under win totals was the Commanders this year. I didn't think there was any way they were going to win as many games as they did a year ago. Now, obviously, I wasn't baking in. Well, I partly was baking in a Jaden Daniels injury, I suppose, because I think his chances to get hurt are high. But what do you make of the Commanders? Did they scare you at all? They're 3-point dogs this week at the Chargers.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, all the lines that they've been in so far, I wonder how many times they've covered the number. Because I'll have to look that up actually. Yeah, it's an interesting team, like you said. I mean, I was with you the heading into the season that there's just no way they're going to be as good as they were a year ago. There was all of the Terry McLaurin stuff this offseason as well. They bring in Deebo Samuel and do all
Terry
that.
McLaurin's been hurt, of course.
I know,
always happens to receivers that hold out.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess they kind of blew the Raiders out of the water. They lost to the Packers and they lost to the Falcons. So, I mean, I think that's what they're going to be. Like, I don't expect them to be anything crazy.
I still think they can be a playoff team. I'm very happy that we get Jaden Daniels back because I really enjoy watching him play football. Yeah. And I hope they're good. Their backfield isn't that talented. Their wide receiver room is super thin. Like, I think they invested heavily in their defense in the offseason, which was the right thing to do. I just think they need just a little infusion of like some speed or something into their offense outside of Jaden Daniels. But we'll see. Hopefully they've been very cautious with him, which is probably the right way to play it. And we'll see if he can get back to it. Man, you look at like some of the names we have lost this year. We've lost Joe Burrow and we're going to lose Lamar Jackson for a while. We lost Tyreek Hill, Malik Neighbors for the season. Mike Evans is out. The Cardinals are down 2 running backs now to IR. Like, it's always bad in the NFL. And I feel like we always say this, it's the worst ever. This for true like star power feels as bad as it's ever been.
Yeah, I mean, just the 3 guys you named right off the top there. I mean, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Tyreek Hill are all going to be out. And Lamar not as much as the other guys, but Malik Neighbors, yeah. I mean, there's some stars at the top that are falling. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. It sucks to see because, obviously for us being fantasy people and everything like that, you never want the stars to get hurt. So it makes interesting of how teams can rebound and everything like that. And as you see for the Bengals, they haven't rebounded in a great way.
Advantage Chiefs, right? The Chiefs had the early adversity. We knew Rice was coming. Worthy goes down. Little adversity early on. They're starting to hit their stride at the right time. I'm seeing a lot of people think that this is a good spot for the Jags. I don't see it. It's another great question for Glasser in the next hour. I can't figure in this matchup what people are saying, and I'm not like seeing it once. I'm seeing it a lot. People think Kansas City's going to go get beat in Jacksonville, and I don't know. Like, and this is going to sound crazy, so bear with me. Coming off of the Russell Wilson performance against the Cowboys, honestly, that at the moment, at the time, worried me more for the Chiefs' sake than this one does. I think this is a very favorable. I'm not saying the Giants are better than the Jaguars. I'm saying it's a more favorable matchup stylistically for the Chiefs. And Trevor Lawrence just doesn't scare me at all at this point.
I think that the reason we feel like that, though, is because we just saw the Chiefs did a week ago. I think if we were coming off the Chiefs-Eagles game and going into this game, it's like, I mean, 0-3
the Chiefs
on the
should have
table.
beat the Eagles, though.
I know.
Right? You're Travis Kelce drop touchdown away from that being a different outcome.
I mean, I agree, but the fact of being 0-2 and seeing the struggles that they had, I mean, they didn't look like perfect in the Eagles game. They probably should have won the game, but I don't think they looked perfect in that game by any means. And then seeing what happened in week 1 as well. So, I mean, even coming off of the Giants game, like watching that first half, I wouldn't feel great going into this. But I think seeing what we saw against the Ravens, I think, I don't know. The banged up Ravens obviously are banged up, but I still think that's a pretty good defense. Like, it's not like we're playing against the JV team or anything like that. So I feel confident for that reason of seeing what we've seen the offense do this last week and what seems like is only going to get better. Even without Rashee Rice, it feels like it's still going to be trending upward.
Well, what the Worthy thing does is it gives them another downfield threat. The Chiefs offense has felt like there's been a lid on it for 3 years, right? And Tyquan Thornton has been that was unexpected, going into the season. I think he is awesome down the field. Well, so is Worthy. And at times, so can be Hollywood Brown. That's where when Rice comes back and you can turn those guys loose down the field, they probably can't do that yet because but when they get Rice back, they can. Rice, Kelce underneath, those 3 guys over the top. I think we're going to unlock this Chiefs offense. I do. And I don't think they need all that against the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars thing is a defensive thing for me. But we'll talk to Glasser about it in the next hour. We've got PJ Glasser. We've got Tim Fitzgerald. Busy hour 2. Stick around. More Sports Daily right after this.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
310-1 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily.
Well, hey there. Welcome back in, everybody, to another hour of Sports Daily. Jacob Albrock, TJ Cleland with you here. We've got a busy second hour. We have PJ Glasser, our betting insider, coming up in the next segment. We have Tim Fitzgerald, our K-State Insider, coming up. We'll preview the Cats this weekend. I want to get his thoughts, too, on this private equity, maybe on KU going overseas, following suit with K-State. It's all what's on tap for you here on Sports Daily, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company, featuring Oktoberfest, a deeply copper-colored German-style lager that will make you click your heels, grab your stein, and follow the copper brick road to the land of Oktoberfest. Wichita Brewing Company pizza and beer made here. We'll make football picks tomorrow, and we'll also get you ready for a little high school football. We'll catch Kansas Friday. I want to remind you that high school football coverage on Sports Daily is brought to you by Zentex Remodeling Group. Remodel your bathroom in as little as 1 day with Zentex Remodeling Group, ZINTEX.com. Everything's open for you here, especially in this first segment. If you have questions, if you have betting advice you'd like to ask us to PJ Glasser, you can leave us those comments. The easiest way to do that, Facebook, YouTube, X. If you're watching the video stream, just leave us a comment. We can ask those questions to him as well. So make sure to do that. You can also call us now at 869-1240, or you can leave us voice messages through the Odyssey app. You can reach out to us directly on the socials too, as Chris, great listener of the program, does on X, and says perfect weather is 40 to 45 in the morning and 65 to 70 in the afternoon. Team TJ.
That's right.
Are you agreeing with that, Team TJ there? I think you're saying you'd like it even colder than that.
No. That's perfect. I want to be able to wear a hoodie all day and be comfortable with it. And I think that 70 at the peak is perfect.
70 with a hoodie, 70 in sunshine. That's still.
I mean, I'm not asking for winter coats here. I just want it to be chilly enough. I want to play a round of golf in a pair of sweats. That's all that I'm asking for. That's the perfect weather.
No. I don't want sleeves when I'm playing golf. I can handle pants, but I don't like sleeves. It feels
quarter zip golf is the best
cumbersome.
golf.
I don't feel like I have a full range of motion.
You don't feel like you're on the tour when you roll out wearing a nice like Callaway quarter zip, zipped up, nice. It's perfect. That's awesome. Crisp fall air, cup of coffee in hand, warming you up.
I always have. It could be 100 degrees, and I'd have a cup of coffee in hand.
Yeah.
Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee, by the way, for being a great support of the program, keeping us fueled up here. Listen, 40 to 45 in the morning is too chilly. I like to get out and like walk and move around in the morning.
You know how nice it is?
I'll meet you in the middle. I'm not saying 85 degrees is a perfect temperature. 85 degrees is warm, but it's a hell of a lot better than being cold. And it's a hell of a lot better than 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And we don't get very much of it. And it is a nice transition time. And I don't want to speed it along. But yeah, look, if by Halloween we're sitting there and we get up in the morning, I would probably call 40 to 45 a little brisk for me. I'd probably go more like 50 to 55. 65 to 70, I can live with that in the afternoon.
That's the best.
I think my perfect temperature with no wind and sunshine is probably about 72 or 73 degrees. If I have a breeze, if it's going to be cloudy, I'm going to need that lifted up to about 76, 77 degrees.
There's just nothing better than the feeling of like for me, I'll just throw my anecdote out here. There's nothing better than like waking up on a Saturday morning, loading up the car, heading to K-State or KU to watch some football. You walk outside and it's like, whoo, it's brisk. Just a nice 50 degrees. You're like, this can be a nice day. We're going to have football on. Like, this is perfect.
There's better than that. There's the swimming pool.
That's not better. There's no way that
I'm not even
there's
a
no
beach
way that
guy.
there's no way that June or May is better than.
Don't you talk trash on June. June might be my favorite weather month.
They're crazy.
I love June. Because June, you're still getting brisk mornings sometimes, about half the month, and you get like pool weather, but not like I'm going to die if I step outside. My problem with here's the other thing. We're going to come from a different place on this. I come from the land of no humidity, right? So you have to factor that in. the humidity here melts me. So it does throw things off for me a little bit. Like you go back where I'm from, and I say this because the Texas Panhandle is not aesthetically pleasing for the most part. It's dry, it's flat, there are no trees. It's like Western Kansas, and I'm from there, so nobody can be offended. However, when you get like a summer night, when the sun goes down, there's no humidity, so the temperature drops. Right when the sun goes down, the temperature actually drops. There's no humidity. That is pretty hard to beat. Like a panhandle night where it's like 70, 75 degrees, no sun, it is awesome. Here you have humidity. That makes it hotter and it makes it colder. So it throws all my my dials off a little bit.
I'm telling you, it's late October and late March is king in Kansas.
Late October, it might snow. Absolutely not. Late March, and that's when my birthday is. Start planning now. Is like,
do you have a March birthday?
The windiest, nastiest potential. The one
wind
thing,
does suck.
I'm March 30, but I will say the one good thing about that date is there's I would call it there's a 50-50 chance the weather's going to suck hard, or it's like the first awesome day of the year. And you're like, I'm wearing shorts today, baby.
That's what I'm saying.
March is
the best
February.
month.
We're out of here.
March and October, for sure. March is the best because, like, I have a March birthday as well, and mine's the early March. And so it's like you can start to see it start to peak out a little bit, but then it's like that next week, it's like, man, like there's conference championships going on. There's Big 12 or there's a March Madness happening, and it's like just warming up. You want to sit on a patio and drink a beer and watch basketball.
Yep. Late March and April are dicey, but man, they throw the middle finger to January and February pretty hard. And we can all agree that January and February are the worst. We crammed Valentine's Day, I'm convinced, into the middle of February because everyone's just like, screw this weather.
February does suck because that's when the wind starts picking up really hard too. And it's
Can somebody give me one redeeming quality about February, please? Like, because I can't find one. There's
Super Bowl's in February.
I guess that it is now, and we have college basketball, which is great. But man, January and February suck. Could you imagine if we didn't have football and college basketball in January and February?
I'd be despicable.
They got nothing. They got nothing for us. I'll
take this weather take once further, since this is just going to be our topic of the entire week, I guess. The Kansas weather is such a curveball and everything like that. I can handle the high humidity. I can handle whenever it's 100 degrees outside and I'm just sweating my tail off. I can't stand the Wichita wind. It sucks. That's the worst weather element that we've got.
You got trees to block it. Again, go where I'm from, and you can really feel that wind. There's nothing to stop it.
Yeah.
You know, the haboobs and these things that you hear about, that's like every day. There's nothing stopping that wind. Here, you can catch it. You can catch a tree break.
Growing up playing baseball in that wind was always the worst. It's just like, it's 40 miles an hour in.
And in high school, you start those games in February. No, listen, I was there. I lived it. I've been there with you. I struggle with you. That's why I'm in no rush to bring on colder weather.
I would trade the wind if we could if it had to snow every day that it was cold and be 100 degrees every day that it's hot, I would trade the wind.
Now you're being crazy now. No, you're being crazy.
I might be speaking
get you a kite. I don't like the wind either, but let's be reasonable here. Thanks to Chris for the comment. You can always comment to us on all the social platforms, Facebook, YouTube, X. It's all available for you. We are jam-packed the rest of the way in this hour, though, as we'll have PJ Glasser is going to come on next. Thursday night football, front and center, all the injuries. By the way, you can hear Thursday night football right here on KFH. Pregame coverage on Westwood One begins at 6:30 tonight. Niners, Rams, I'm not going to let these injuries derail the excitement for what we thought would be an incredible Thursday night football game. Hopefully it still is. But let's get PJ's take on it. Maybe some props to take. Maybe there are tremendous betting opportunities he sees. And then he'll take us, of course, through the college football weekend, through the NFL weekend. And then Tim Fitzgerald's going to join us. Go powercat.com or KState Insider. TJ, I don't know about you, and I don't know what to expect in Baylor. I'm scared of it. I also kind of feel like it's a nice opportunity. I'm all over the place with this Baylor game. I'm curious to hear Fitz's take, but I'm having a hard time getting a vibe on it.
I mean, the thing is that makes this K-State season so interesting is that we want them to win, but if they lost, it's just like, yeah, well, it's this K-State team. You know what happens. There's no.
I don't know, man.
There's just no expectations, though. I mean, the expectations. I mean, there's still a chance. Like the season's not over, but I mean, the expectation that everybody has around this team, like nobody's going to be heartbroken if they lose to Baylor. They're supposed to lose to Baylor now, which sucks.
Let's get Fitz's take on it. I think the expectations got lifted right back up after last week. Nope. And that's not a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. We'll talk about that. But first, all the betting talk with PJ Glasser. Stick around. Sports Daily. Come right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
H. And now, if you're looking for the best props and games to lay your money down on, from BetMGM, here's KFH's betting insider, PJ Glasser.
And we do welcome you back in with PJ Glasser here. Looking forward to it. We've got a Thursday night football game that is gotten weird that we will get to. PJ, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good, guys. How you doing?
We're doing good. Let's start though with college football, PJ, as we typically do, and we'll start you with the 2 games that we watch around here the most closely, which are Kansas and Kansas State. Interesting outcomes last week. KU should have won their game, and they would have covered had they made an interception. I think they would have covered, maybe not. But it was an offensive explosion. K-State bounces back in a nice way. K-State's up first this weekend, so we can start with them. We were just talking before we came on. It's a really weird one with Baylor. Baylor's offense has been phenomenal. How about an over-under of 61.5 in this one? This is a wild a game on paper.
It is, and it's a game I wouldn't go under the 61.5. I'll tell you guys that. It would either be over or nothing, especially with the way that this Kansas State defense, their secondary was a big issue, as you guys know, last year. Really hasn't been fixed this season. And Jacob, you said it. I mean, Baylor's offense has been terrific, especially at home. So I think both teams are going to be able to move the ball up and down the field. I do think the over is the good look if you want to bet it. The side, I mean, 6.5 feels about right. Kansas State, you don't want to overreact too much to what you saw last week, even though they finally get a win and a cover against UCF. Now they're going up against a Baylor team that is coming off a game against Oklahoma State where they knew they were going to get a good effort after they fired Gundy, right? Kind of that first game after you fire a coach. So I don't have anything in this game, guys. I didn't bet anything. But yeah, I think if you were to bet something, it probably would be the over. I think this game is a shootout. Baylor's really struggled to stop the run this season, and I think K-State's really going to lean into that. They're going to try and run, especially with Avery Johnson. So, yeah, I think it's a high-scoring affair. I'd probably look at the over.
PJ, we'll talk about KU in a second, but as Jacob was saying, lost to Cincinnati in a weird game, ton of points. Defense was, I don't even know what adjective to use at that point. Cincinnati, though, wins that game. They now host Iowa State, number 14 team in the nation, and Iowa State is a road dog in that game. Is Cincinnati legit? What's up with this line?
Usually, fellas, we have 2 of these games this week where you have an unranked team that are favored over a ranked team. The other one is Louisville. They're favored by 6.5, 7 over Virginia, who just upset Florida State. And normally these are just auto bets, right? You see a team that's unranked and they're favored, and you're like, somebody knows something. These odds makers know something. Iowa State, though, is a kind of team that it feels like they take money against them every single week. They were betting the Arizona-Iowa State game last week like they knew the final score. Arizona was taking a ton of money, and Iowa State just completely blew them out. So it feels like Cincinnati's the right side. I think they're a lot better than people realize. They had the great win over Kansas on the road last week. I'm staying away personally because Iowa State is just one of these teams that They probably shouldn't be as good as they are. They shouldn't be undefeated like they are, but they just continue to win games. And I trust Matt Campbell a lot more than I trust Scott Satterfield. So no play for me. I could understand why people would take Cincinnati, but I'm telling you, just be careful fading Iowa State. It feels like we try to do this every week, and every week it feels like you're on the wrong side of doing that.
Yeah, Iowa State's been a moneymaker this year. How about Kansas bouncing back? They get UCF. UCF's the team K-State kind of blew up on a little bit. KU's a road favorite, though, by 4 points. It makes me a little unnerving, but UCF, I don't know what their quarterback situation is. I just know their regular starter left the game against Kansas State. But if they can throw the ball, they'll give Kansas trouble, but that doesn't feel like what they want to do. I kind of like Kansas here in a bounce back. I don't know what you're thinking on it.
No, I like Kansas as well. I mean, UCF is a much better team at home than they are when they go on the road. But again, I trust Leipold in this spot. The unit that I trust the most in this game is the Kansas offense, and I think they're going to be able to put up points. UCF has played some pretty bad offenses so far this season that I think have made them look a lot better, maybe defensively than they actually are, right? They got K-State last week. They played UNC 4, so they played some bad offenses. Now they go up against a pretty good one that executes at a pretty high level. So I do like the Jayhawks in this game. You know, the last 2 games against West Virginia and Cincinnati, they've been putting up points. I think they'll be able to do it in this game as well. So Kansas minus 4.5. Maybe you look at a team total over with the Jayhawks as well. It could be another way to attack the game.
PJ, before we move to the NFL, it's a pretty loaded slate across college football this week, it looks like. What else are you following?
Fellas, I like Vandy plus the points against Alabama. I think anything north of 10 is a good bet. You know, big storyline heading into this game is that it's revenge for Bama from last year, right? They beat Georgia a year ago. They get Vandy the next week in Nashville. They lose outright. So that's a big talking point this year, is it's the same spot. You have a big win over Georgia. I think that definitely helps Bama from a mental standpoint, right? You would worry about certainly a letdown, but they know not to take Vandy for granted this time around. Guys, for me, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, can you go out there and can you stop Vandy's run? And I don't think Bama's going to be able to. You know, these are the kind of teams that the Tide have been struggling with. And one of my takeaways from the Georgia game was Georgia was able to gash them a little bit on the ground. I thought Georgia didn't run the ball maybe as much as they should have in that game, but Vandy's going to run the ball, and they're not going to be intimidated by Alabama. And look, we know DeBoer, right? We know his track record. He hasn't been all that great so far when he's laying a lot of points. So game day is going to be there. Bama's going to be more focused than they were last year. And I think all these reasons have people thinking Bama's just going to roll. Vandy's for real, though. They have a ton of confidence. And their quarterback, Diego Pavia, since he has been at Vandy, you guys, he is 11-2 against the spread as an underdog. So Vandy's a great bet in these kind of spots when they go up against some of the big SEC teams. And I think we're going to get another close one. So I like Vandy plus the points.
Any other favorite bets before we switch to the NFL as we're all degenerately looking for parlays?
Yeah, you know, it's a tricky week, you guys. I do like Arizona, though. I like Arizona staying in the Big 12, laying 20.5 against Oklahoma State. Arizona's coming off, again, a blowout loss against Iowa State. Oklahoma State kept it pretty competitive with Baylor for most of that game. I think Oklahoma State, though, is just kind of that extra bounce that you get from firing the head coach, right? Kind of that extra juice. Now they go back to being Oklahoma State, who's maybe the worst team in the Big 12, and you got to go on the road. Arizona strikes me as a team that when they go up against inferior competition, they kind of take care of business. So I think, yeah, the fact you're getting under 21, I think it's going to be a blowout. So no problem laying the big number with Arizona.
PJ, moving to the NFL, we'll kick it off with our local guys. Kansas City Chiefs, Monday Night Football this week. They're on the road as favorites at Jacksonville by about a field goal and a hook. Chiefs looked really good a week ago. Are you buying into that, or are the Ravens just so depleted that you probably will tell us about that as well?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I mean, there's no denying that Worthy makes a huge difference on that offense, right? I mean, him out there, it has a totally different vibe and a totally different feel to it. But look, I think there's a big coaching mismatch in this game. I still don't like Jacksonville all that much. I still don't like Trevor Lawrence all that much. There are some threes out there still with Kansas City. If you can get KC -3, I think that's an awesome bet. this week. You know, they were 0-2. They were in a hole. It didn't look good against the Giants. But with Worthy back, I think they found a little rhythm on offense. And again, I'm still not buying Jacksonville. Yeah, they've had a nice win at San Francisco. Yeah, they've beaten up on a Houston team. But this is going to be the best team that they've played. Monday Night Football, prime time. I don't know if Jacksonville's ready for this kind of game. So if you could still find those threes out there with Kansas City, I'd lay it with the Chiefs this week.
That sounds good on that one, PJ. Let's go to then tonight's game. Niners, Rams. Boy, I wish I'd have been on the early week betting of this one. The line is moved out now, though. The 49ers don't have anybody healthy. Where are you going with this one? And what props might we be interested in when you get in? Do you avoid them with injuries like this? Are there opportunities when there are injuries like this?
Yeah, I mean, because of all the injuries, I don't think I'll get all involved that much. Like McCaffrey in the receiving game was something that intrigued me just because when Mac Jones has been out there, he's really looked at CMC. Mac doesn't really love throwing the ball down the field all that much. He's not a very mobile guy. With all the injuries the Niners have, he's probably going to look to get the ball out of his hands quick. The problem is for McCaffrey, his reception number at BetMGM is 6.5, and it's juiced to the over at -150. So, yeah, because of the injuries they have on offense, it's tough to get involved with them. And then because the Rams are so heavily favored, you know, you don't know the game script. I mean, is Stafford going to be throwing that much? Is Kyron Williams going to be running that much on a short week? Or are they going to give Blake Corum a majority of the running? I think Corum could be an interesting angle this week. If you like San Francisco to keep the game close, I think maybe taking Joshua Carty, the Rams kicker, over field goals, over 1.5 field goals could be the way to go. But again, that's juiced to -175. I just don't think there's much value in the prop department. I will say, guys, I am surprised that this line has gotten as high as it is at 8.5, right? I could understand 5.5, 6.5, maybe even 7. I think so many people are just teasing the Rams, though, that it's just driving this line up. I think now's a good buy point on San Francisco. I understand that they have a bunch of injuries, but it's a divisional game. Historically, Shanahan's had a lot of success against McVay, and they've won games with Mac Jones so far this season. You know, they're 2-0 with him in the lineup. So I don't think San Francisco wins the game, but I think they can keep it close. I just think 8.5 at this point is too many points.
PJ, another line that I think is really interesting on Sunday, back to the Ravens and the injuries and everything like that. Sorry to keep talking about this. They're home underdogs against the Texans, and we haven't really seen a ton from C.J. Stroud to make you believe the Texans should be road favorites. Are the injuries that bad? What's your take as a Ravens fan? I just kind of want to hear the grievances of what's going on up there.
So I got to give credit to Dan Orlovsky. I saw this morning. He dropped this great stat that, the Ravens, you guys, are 32nd out of 32 teams in the NFL at running the ball on first and second down, yet they have the second highest yards per play. You could watch the Chiefs game, right? And even Romo was alluding to it on the broadcast. Like, where is Derrick Henry? Why aren't they running the ball? Every time Lamar got under center and the Ravens had a fullback leading the way for Derrick, they got a minimum of 5 yards a carry, and they just never would stay with it consistently. And then Spags causes blitzes. The Ravens' pass protection's awful, and they would get after Lamar. So look, I mean, Cooper Rush obviously isn't better than Lamar Jackson. In fact, Cooper Rush is terrible, but with Cooper Rush in there, it might actually force the Ravens to run the ball with Derrick Henry on Sunday, which could be a good thing because not only is it going to help their offense, but it's going to keep that defense off the field as well. I actually do like the Ravens in this spot as a home dog. I think they're going to win the game. They do have a bunch of injuries on defense, but again, that Texans offense is really, really bad. They have had Houston's number in the Stroud, DeMeco Ryans era. So, yeah, I like the Ravens. I think they win, and I'd look at Derrick Henry props. I'd look at over rushing yards. I'd look at over rushing attempts. I really think they're going to make a move to run the ball. John Harbaugh, you know, he called out Todd Monken on the press game, on the pregame, during the press conferences when he was talking about the Chiefs game, post game, and he usually doesn't do that. So I think he's the guy who realizes he's on the hot seat, and he wants his team to run the football. So I would look at the Ravens to do that against Houston.
Any Browns over Packers opportunities this week, PJ? Any of those great money line chances, and what are some of your other favorite NFL bets?
The Raiders I think are interesting this week against the Colts. I don't know if they win the game. I do like the Raiders. Guys, something I always look for in the NFL is it's very profitable long term when a team loses outright as a favorite and then goes on the road the following week as an underdog. It's like one of my favorite situational spots that I always look for week to week in the NFL. Pete Carroll, with his time in Seattle, was normally very good when going through multiple time zones with his West Coast team. They already won in New England earlier this year. Look, I know the Colts are rolling. They should be 4-0. They should have won that game against the Rams, but getting 7, I think, is a nice spot. So I think the Raiders can keep that game close. And then I actually really like the Saints this week against the Giants. I know it's 2 of the worst teams in the NFL, but look, the Saints are 0-4, right? We know they're looking for a win. There are only going to be so many opportunities where they're going to win games. And 3 out of their 4 games, I mean, New Orleans has been competitive, right? They hung with Buffalo. They hung with Arizona. They hung with San Francisco. So they've been a competitive team. Now you're getting the Giants off of a win. People thinking they're good now with Jackson Dart. Like, that's just not the case. The Giants are still a bad team. And now Dart has to go on the road in the Superdome and take on a Saints team that's desperately looking for their first win. Kellen Moore's looking for his first win. There is a reason why the Giants opened up as a 1.5-point favorite, and now they're a 2-point dog. All this money is coming in on the Saints. And like, no public bettor is going to bet on this game, right? It's professional money that's swinging this line all the way. So look, it's an ugly game, fellas, but I do like New Orleans a lot. I think they win that game. And I think if you want to get super risky in Survivor this week, I think New Orleans could be a team to look at as well.
Oh, you'd have to have a pair of stones to take the Saints in a Survivor. Man, that's awesome. PJ, we appreciate it. Go follow along at PJ Glasser 9. PJ Glasser, our betting insider, host of Send It In and Betting Lines at BetMGM. Good luck. You're picking against your Crimson Tide this weekend. I know that's bittersweet, but you gotta be professional here.
Have to. Look, we're all about making money. I told you guys you had nothing to worry about with the Chiefs last week. I mean, that was an easy sweat. That was an easy winner. So
that's how I feel about the Chiefs this week. I'll be honest with you. I think Jacksonville can't throw the ball to save their lives. And if they try to just run it on the Chiefs, if Derrick Henry ain't running it on them, sorry, Travis Etienne. I love the Chiefs this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, PJ, we appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
There goes PJ Glasser, our betting insider. Always good stuff there. You're in a Survivor. Take the Saints, tough guy.
God,
you would be able to sing it from the rooftops if you hit that.
You would.
I'm with him, by the way. The Saints were one that I did look at early in the week, and I'm like, man, I'm kind of there. Jackson Dart, like everyone's trying to hail Jackson Dart as this. Yeah. He did not play that well. He had a couple of rushing touchdowns. He didn't look that good.
Yeah, I think that this is the fade of the vibes right now. Everybody likes the Giants because they just pulled off.
Are you telling me that the Giants are more talented on offense than Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed? And is Jackson Dart ready to be better than Spencer Rattler? Like, I mean, I think the Saints are more talented than the Giants.
They've got more talent. Yeah, it's just a matter of if they can make it work. I don't know if Spencer Rattler is leading that offense on a charge and everything like that. But I also don't know if Jackson Dart is. I've watched him play one game. So
if the Giants can get into a situation where they can hand the ball to Scattaboo 20 times, maybe you could see it. The Saints played the Cardinals within a touchdown. They played the Giants within 5 points. They played Buffalo within 12. I don't know how much you were paying attention to that game. They were in that thing. Seattle kicked their tail in Seattle. Back home after a couple. I'm with him on that one. And I'll probably just take it on a money line, but that'll be one of the games that I put in a parlay this weekend. Man, we don't always agree. I also really like the Raiders this weekend too. I don't know that I'm with you guys on Texans Ravens though. The Texans can play a little defense. I think they're going to give Cooper Rush hell.
I think the only reason the Chiefs blew him out of the water is because the Ravens defense is so bad right now, but the Texans offense just kind of stinks. Like CJ Stroud has not played good.
You not into the Woody Marks revolution? Nico Collins has been picking it up a little bit. I don't know. I've watched a lot of Cooper Rush, and he does find ways to do interesting things and not look very good doing it. It'll be fun, though. Tim Fitzgerald with us next. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea.
With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite, or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Jim Rome here, lighting up your afternoons on The Jim Rome Show. Catch me starting at 2 on Wichita's #1 sports radio, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
defense in London is a huge ask, but it's obviously the right call.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to Sports Daily. Tim Fitzgerald, our KState Insider, at Life of Fitz. GoPowerCat.com. Fitz, whatever you said last week, keep it up. It worked.
Yeah, they did look better. The question is it good enough? They got a challenge this weekend going to Waco. Challenge next weekend with TCU coming in. They've got a lot of those ahead, and they need to start picking off more and more victories. This is a pretty big game to keep them on track of improvement.
Fitz, we're having a conversation about this just before you joined about K-State and what the expectations are. You know, we kind of threw them out the window whenever they lost to Army. Is like, well, this season's going to be interesting because there's no expectations anymore about what this team should be. Are they back? Jacob thinks they're back. I don't know if they're back. I mean, if they lose this game, I don't think that anybody should be surprised, but it's also not out of the question that they win this game. What are the expectations anymore?
Well, here's a good measurement whether they're back, so to speak, back to themselves and their normal standard. If I had told you before the season they were going to beat UCF, a team that is coming off a dreadful year, has a new coach, they're going to beat them by only 2 touchdowns at home, you'd probably go, ugh. Because that's a game you would think they would comfortably win. But the truth is, over the last 10 games, they've won 4. This was the 4th one, and 2 of them were comeback wins. So they've got to kind of rediscover that standard they had for most of last season and prior years under Chris Kleiman, which includes a higher level of execution. They gave up too many big plays against UCF, a team not known for that. Well, they're playing a team that is known for that, maybe the best team in the nation at explosive plays. So if that identity carries over, Baylor might score 110 points this weekend. So they have to get that under control and within the next couple days.
Yeah, look, I don't know that I think they're back. I definitely don't think they're back if their defense can't be better. I'm with you 100%. I think they're back potentially on offense, though.
Yeah.
That's the kind of, Dylan Edwards clearly makes that kind of difference. I don't know if it's his presence that got Avery Johnson kind of, back on the move a little bit. I don't know if it's the coaches not really giving him a choice a little bit more in that game, but either way, those two together as a threat on the ground, that's what I do think the offense is probably back. Yeah. I don't know. The defense scares me to death, but I think the offense is closer to back, or it may be back.
Yeah. The thing that's interesting about this offense is they've only had a handful of plays with Dylan Edwards, Avery Johnson, and Jace Brown, their 3 biggest weapons on the field together. Because Jace played 1 play last week against UCF and had to go out of the game. He aggravated what we believe is turf toe. Might be something else, but he aggravated. He was ready to go and just gave out on him. He's showing up as probable from last night's availability report. Interesting enough, JB Bradley is not even on the report, so he must be a go for this game. So getting back these weapons and being able to put them on the field together, which we haven't seen all season. There's been someone missing almost every game. Could be really important for this offense because defenses could just key on Avery Johnson in the run game. Well, they can't do that anymore, particularly after the 75-yard run. They've got to be honest with the threat Dylan Edwards brings, and now you layer in the receivers possibly all being around for the first time since the opening game, and also the look of Blake Barnett, this redshirt freshman quarterback coming in at the same time with Avery, offers a whole new wrinkle for defenses to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Fitz, we've been talking about the Avery run game and everything like that, and just everybody's been calling for more of it and more of it and more of it. Getting Dylan back, they both combined for whatever it was, like 240 yards or something like that. Does getting Dylan back help the Avery run thing? Do you think that there was a legit adjustment made to it? Was it an adjustment made by Avery? Was it an adjustment by Matt Wells? There's lots of questions around that.
No, I think two things happened. First of all, the offensive line played with, more gusto. They got after it a little bit, and the coaches rotated some different guys in, whether for injury or other reason. And so we saw some different combinations. We've seen too many combinations on the offensive line. They need to find 5 dudes and let them go to work. They really do. But the Kansas State Reed game was completely negated without Dylan Edwards. Defenses weren't concerned with the running backs other than Dylan. And they just keyed on Avery. So they took him away. We saw that the running backs in line couldn't really answer with any consistency. But now with Dylan back, they have to worry about that. And you put same thing when you put Blake Barnett back there, they have to worry about multiple tools in the backfield now. So you just got to make a defense as uncomfortable as possible. And let's be blunt, for the first 4 games of the season, defenses were pretty darn comfortable against this offense.
Couple other college football storylines. I want to get your take on Fitz. KU announced they're going to London. Following K-State's going to Ireland, but it's not at the beginning of the season. I think it's a no-brainer for KU from the perspective of K-State. Even seeing the Wildcats lose that game, should teams have any aversion to doing something like this? I think the spotlight is way too good to refuse, and probably the money. But what did you make of that?
No, I agree with you. I think fans get upset when they lose a home game. The fans that can't afford to travel, which it's expensive to go to these games. So I understand that. It hurts local businesses. I understand that. But K-State, despite its problems this season, has had pretty solid TV ratings. And I think it's brand awareness. I think particularly that first game of the season, week 0 game, everyone's watching. Everyone is keeping an eye on it because they've been jonesing for the college football stuff. I love it. I think we're going to see the Big 12 do more than one game overseas a season in the future. I'm positive they want to get into Mexico. That's still out there, and so we might see them play Mexico, maybe Brazil. Those are things all within the realm of possibility for Brett Yormark. But I think it lifts the Big 12 brand a lot to do these games. And it's very interesting. I think the Big 12's TV ratings are rising a little bit, and we're seeing the Big 10 go backwards. So maybe there's a plan here that is actually working to close that gap. And I got to admit, the Big 12's had really good TV slots all year long. Now, K-State's on ESPN Plus this weekend, but turn around next week, and they've got a 2:30 p.m. slot on Fox. So they're getting some real opportunities.
Fitz, evidently, whenever teams go play in Europe, whenever they lose the game, something happens, the hex, a curse, or something like that. But realistically, though, Chris Kleiman talked about, he's like, coaches told me that there's going to be a hangover period, whether you win or you lose the game. For KU, for this being in the middle of the season, do you think that that's something to pay attention to? That they're going to roll right into Big 12 play right after this game, and maybe something can happen from it. I don't know if you believe any of that or not.
I mean, coming in the middle of the season, I advise them to take a week off afterwards, but they, may not be able to do that with the Big 12 schedule.
Yeah.
I just think there's some risk reward involved. There's no doubt about it. And it is interesting. I almost think Ireland has a curse for the loser.
That's what I'm saying.
It's been across the board. I think there's a leprechaun involved somewhere. But look, it was an amazing experience for the players, the team, the fans that did get to go. And again, it's hard to measure brand awareness and how much it impacts your TV ratings, but I think it's really at work here. And I think this is a great opportunity for the University of Kansas to get their football brand out in front of more eyes, because the world might think they're mostly a basketball brand, and they have been, but boy, their football program is been rising under Lance Leipold.
One more for you, Fitz, real quick here, just a couple of minutes. The Big Ten toying with the idea of taking private equity money. I thought that this would be the Big 12 striking first on something like this. It sounds like the proposal is strictly to get involved in the media rights deal. That's probably good if they extend and expand on the current grant of rights. That's probably good for any sort of consolidation, I would suppose. And are you good with these kinds of deals? I am. I think it's the right thing to do. I think they need the money.
Yeah, well, as long as you don't lose control of your conference. Private equity's got a bad rap, but it's not always bad. I think the Big Ten deal is going to fall apart. I don't think some of their partners feel like they're getting their money's worth out of Big Ten football. Now, let's be honest. I think most weeks you can go to the third game in the Big 12 and it's going to be entertaining. You go to the third game in the Big Ten, quite often it's trash. They just don't have the depth of the roster in terms of members and football quality and it's showing up in the ratings. It really is. They are having some struggles with at some level of their ratings beyond their biggest brands. And I think they've decided to try to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, I don't. It's hard. I don't know how you're not getting excited about Rutgers, Indiana, Fitz.
I know. It's big time.
Go PowerCat.com. Get you all ready for the Baylor game. Shootout City. It's probably a best case scenario for K-State, but it'll be a really interesting game, and you guys will have us all covered on the preview.
Yep. The K-State pregame show goes live at 10 a.m. and on YouTube.
Thank you, Fitz. We'll talk next week. We're coming right back. We got more Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums